Hello and welcome to part 2 of my Blender Python training series. In this part, I'm going to teach you some more of the basics of Python, including while loops and if statements. So we will go into that. Okay, so first we're going to go into our scripting window and we're going to add a new script. If you have not seen part 1, I recommend going and seeing that because if you don't know anything about Python, this might be a little confusing, but it's pretty basic. If you can just listen, and I'm sure you can follow along. Name this script loops fun, okay, or anything really. .py, and let's just go ahead and save it. Okay, so a equals 0. But we want a to equal 100. Sure, we could just set a to 100, but say we wanted things to happen along the way. Okay. So say every 10 values, every time a is like 10, 20, 30, 40, say we want it to print out hello or something. Okay. So we're going to need a second variable for that to keep track of 0 through 10, or 1 through 10. So we'll call this one count equals 0. Okay? And why do we have to set them all to 0? Well, we can't just declare a. Saying a wouldn't do anything. Count and a both have to be set to 0 because they're starting at 0 and they're counting up to something. Okay. So, while loops basically are things that do things. They're loops, and they loop, and they loop, and each time, so let's see. Say I have while a is less than 10. Okay. This while loop basically is going to check every time if a is less than 10, and if it's not, then it's going to do what's underneath the while loop here, and it's going to do all that, and then it's going to go back again and check if a is less than 10, and if it never gets less than 10, that's where you have a problem. That's an infinite for loop, and that's a really, really bad thing. It will crash your program. So you have to really be careful with while loops, because if they are left, if this never gets satisfied, the method will go on forever and your system, your program will crash. So let's write this while loop now. So while a, we want it to count to 50, is less than 50. Oh, what is that? While it's less than 50, colon, enter. We want it to print out a, or str a. Alright, so we're doing that string method that we went over in the last one. And a equals a plus 1. You could also do a, I think plus equals is correct, but I will just do that. Okay, so now we're going to do that, but we're going to check something first. If a, or if count is, oh, hold on. We also have to increase the count. So count plus equals 1. I'm sorry. Count equals count plus 1. I'm thinking of Java. Count equals count plus 1. If count is 10, okay, colon, print I. Okay. And then also count equals 0. So count's going to increase until it's 10, and when it is 10, it's going to print high, and then it's going to reset to 0 so that it can go back to 10. So if we're right, after every 10 values, high should be printed. So, okay, so before we go and run this, let's check. First, let's save it. Let's check to make sure that we have indeed a condition that's going to get us out of this while loop. You should always do that. So a is increasing So yes, we are going to get, this is eventually going to get satisfied. So if we click run script and we open up our terminal, you'll see that it worked perfectly. Well, actually, no. Okay, since we're starting at 0, it did print it after 9, but 0 through 9 were printed, high was printed, 10 through 19, high, 20 through 29, high. So it worked perfectly, and that's that. Okay, so those are while and if statements inside of Python. Thank you for watching.